What's up guys, Alex Wallace here, and today I wanted to go over how I finally bench pressed 315 pounds. 315 is a massive accomplishment for most bros that go to the gym. I know it was for me. Now I've been able to bench press 315 for several years now, but I want to tell you how I actually got there, as well as some of the pitfalls I see a lot of people making. So let me tell you how I used to bench. When I was trying to increase my bench, I'll tell you exactly what I used to do, and it didn't work. And maybe you're suffering from some of these mistakes as well. Sorry, this cat's gonna be all over me this entire time, which is fine. What I used to do is I would bench press at the beginning of my workout, obviously on chest day. You gotta bench press on chest day. So I'd do my 3 sets of 10 on bench press. It was awesome, it felt great. It was probably the same weight I was doing before, but I would get it out of the way. And then from there, I would do all these component exercises, all these ancillary exercises for the bench press, right? So, you know, part of the bench press is front delt. So I'd go and do a ton of front delt work. Well, another part of the bench press is shoulders. So you gotta get your shoulder press in. Another part of the bench press is, you know, triceps. You gotta do your push downs. And then of course you gotta finish off with flies because you need your pecs for a bench press. So that would be my strategy for increasing my bench press. So I'd probably bench once a week, and I'd do all this ancillary work around it in hopes that training the component parts of my bench press would increase my bench press. And look, there's definitely some merit to that. There's definitely some merit to doing ancillary work, doing accessory work to increase your main lifts. I'm not saying that's not the case, but what I'm saying is I was doing a lot of that. Also, I was only bench pressing, like everybody else, once a week. Everybody in the gym, I own a gym. Right, I own 2 gyms, and in the one gym, everybody bench presses once a week. They hit chest once a week. So I was like that, and I wanted to stay as lean as possible. That was a different time, and then I kind of went into I want to gain as much mass as possible, just got fat. But anyway, that's a completely different topic. Let's focus on the bench press. So look, you might be doing the same thing, hitting chest once a week, doing a bunch of accessory work, doing the same reps and sets. You are gonna make some progress, but at some point you're gonna stall. And that's what happened to me. I stalled at, I think it was 245. I could not bench more than 245 for a very long time. We're talking like a year and a half, which sucks. If you go to the gym, you wanna make progress, you're somebody that wants to make progress, you wanna see the numbers go up, it sucks when you're stuck. And I dealt with that for a long time, like 18 months. This is how I broke out of it. And I followed these principles to finally get to a 315 pound bench. The first one is probably going to fly in the face of what a lot of people are doing in the gym. And that's, I didn't just hit chest one day a week, and I didn't just bench once a week. Instead, I would bench at the least once, at the most 3 times per week. So I would bench more often. I cut out a lot of that accessory work. It's not to say I didn't do any of it, I just cut most of it out. My philosophy is this: if you're doing so much accessory work that it's taking away from your ability to perform and recover from the main lift you're trying to improve, you probably are doing too much accessory work. And I was clearly that guy. Okay, so again, let me break that down. If the accessory work you're doing is to the detriment of your ability to perform and recover from your main lift, you're doing too much accessory work. So when I cut out enough accessory work, I noticed I was able to bench more often. If you're able to do something more often, assuming you can recover from it, you're gonna get better at it. So that's what I did. I started benching several times a week. Now I wouldn't go in and hit 20 sets, but I might do, you know, my volume day, I might do 4 sets of bench, and then I'd have a speed day or a light day, whatever you want to call it, of maybe 2 sets of 5, just getting loose. And then I'd do a heavy day of 3 sets of 3. That's the program I was running at the time. I'm not saying you need to follow that, but I'm saying when I switched up how often I was benching, that alone increased my bench press. And then the second thing I did, I kind of alluded to it already, is I periodized my program. You can't just go in and hit the same reps, the same sets every single time for weeks on end. Eventually you're gonna get stuck. I got stuck. 3 sets of 10, it wasn't going up. So what you need to do is you actually need to periodize your program. There's a million ways to skin this cat. No offense, Jerry. You can do block periodization, you can do daily undulated periodization, you could do a combination of the two. Again, I don't wanna get too far into that, but understand this. If you're always doing the same reps and the same sets and you're stuck, it's probably time to change your program, assuming you're recovering and you're already hitting frequency. It's probably time to change your program. So instead of doing 3 sets of 10, maybe you increase the weight and do 4 sets of 5. Or maybe you decrease the weight if you've been doing 4 sets of 5, hit 3 sets of 10. Use a program that actually oscillates in terms of its intensity. Use a program that changes your reps and sets as the weeks progress. That way you're not just spinning your wheels at the same exact set and rep scheme that you've been doing for months, if not years. And then the last thing I noticed, and obviously this one is different for everybody, there are freaks out there that are way lighter than me that bench way more than me. And like I said, I got to a 315, that was a couple years ago. I bench more than that now, and I'm not lying, so I'm gonna put that card up here. Hopefully I'm earning street cred here. Click that if you haven't seen it. I bench a little bit more than that, but what I'm saying is I couldn't do that at 160 pounds. I just couldn't do it. Even when I increased the frequency, which did increase my bench press, I think at that point I was at like 265, 275, and I was also increasing frequency, and I was increasing the actual program, the complexity and the program, I guess, that made sense. I was changing my reps and sets. It wasn't until I really took gaining some mass seriously that I also started to see a creep up in my bench press. So I went from 245 to 275, just increasing my frequency and changing my program. And then from there, I actually had to start gaining some muscle mass. And honestly, some of it was fat mass. My first bulk and subsequent bulks, and even now I can get a little overzealous with my bulks. I gain a lot of body fat, but even that, I noticed that my bench press is the main lift that correlates the closest with my body weight. So believe it or not, when I first started losing weight, my deadlift actually goes up. My squat sticks around, and my bench press is the one that, regardless of how often I'm doing it, how much I'm trying to focus on it, usually peters out a little bit. Not like it used to, but it doesn't stick around. And I think that's for the reason that, yeah, you're losing some lean tissue, but I also think it's the range of motion. So at 213, right? And I'm chubby at 213, I don't have to bring that bar down as far. It might sound crazy, but my suit size is different when I'm 213 versus when I'm 185. So that huge spread right there, that even if it's a range of motion increase or decrease, Jerry's hitting the mic, even if it's a range of motion increase or decrease by an inch, a half an inch, that alone can make a difference in your bench press. So that's the third thing. That's the least important. That's something that you can absolutely improve on. You can gain weight, but I would say tackle the first 2 things first, okay? Increase your frequency, change up your program, and then after all of that, if you feel like you still want to increase your bench press, don't be afraid to start gaining a little bit of mass, all right? So look, if you like this video, do me a favor, like this video. If you like the content I have, or if you like Jerry at the least, please subscribe to this channel. We are razor close to 1,000 subscribers. I've been working at this for a long time. Do me a favor, subscribe to this channel. Check out some of our other videos. I think you're gonna like what we got. Anyway, if you're watching this after 1,000 subscribers, know that this one is one of our first videos. Oh man, this is one of our first videos, and I'm committed to growing this channel. So see you in the next video.